Hey, Mike, it's time for our show again.
Oh, Haas, it's good to be with you, my man.
Hey, it's good to be here, good to be with you. And we have a special guest today because we are interviewing some people that are going to be doing their own shows on kheatradio.com. And up next, in the booth as we speak, Chuck Urso. Chuck, how are you, brother?
I'm doing good. How's my friends and neighbors in southern Arizona?
It couldn't
Uh,
be any better.
Let me go check. I'll be right back.
That's
Oh, wait.
good. You don't know?
Hey, Chuck is
No.
in the hot seat.
Yes,
So we get to talk with him today and kind of find out a little bit about him and find out about his show and what it's like to be a day in the life of a LA policeman. We'll start there, Chuck. I know there's a lot of things we're going to talk about in the future on your shows, and I am privileged to co-host that with you for a while. So let's get going.
sounds like a plan.
Why don't you tell us about yourself, Chuck?
All right, guys. Guys, I was originally born in New York and moved out to California in 1955 and was raised in Southern California. And in 1969, to beat the draft, I went in the United States Navy and did a tour over 2 tours in Vietnam. Came back, got out of the Navy, and decided I wanted to be a cop. So I started with a small agency in Southern California called Azusa PD in Azusa, California, and I started there as a reserve officer for a couple of years, and then I got hungry to go to the big city where the real cops and robbers were, and so I tested for LAPD, got accepted, went through all the academy training, and voila! In 1974, I became a Los Angeles police officer. I did 32 years with the department. I worked everything from patrol to foot beats to undercover vice to in administration to recruitment. My last assignment was with internal affairs. That was pretty
Wow, I
interesting.
bet that was good.
Yeah, and during my career, I had the opportunity to work the Hillside Strangler Task Force as a clues investigator. Had a good time doing that. It was very stressful, very intense, and eventually, the individual was caught up in Bellingham, Washington, and
Yeah.
prosecuted. He's doing life in prison now, and so I've had a wild career. I've done a lot on LAPD. I've got a lot of friends on the department, and retired, and so I'm, here
You've
I
got
am now.
you have one friend on there that I don't want to talk about on this show, but I think he was just reelected as the DA in
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
Now,
But we'll talk
George,
about him. Yeah.
oh, Georgie Gascon. Yeah, back in the early 80s, I was assigned to what they call Personnel and Training Bureau at Parker Center in downtown LA. I was basically the officer in charge of the use of force review section. And what we did is we reviewed all the investigations involving officer involved shootings. And at that assignment, in the next office over from me was a young sergeant named George Gascon. We worked together in and around each other for a couple of years, and then he moved on. I moved on, and he promoted, and then eventually retired like I did. But now he's become the district attorney of Los Angeles. Just give you a little heads up. I wasn't a fan of the guy back then. I'm definitely not a fan of the guy now, and I'm happy I don't live within LA County anymore.
Yeah.
But the guy was very, very liberal, leftist kind of a guy, very arrogant beyond comprehension. And we just didn't hit it off. And so I have nothing really good to
Well,
say about the guy.
but
So
we'll get into not now, but we'll get into later on in our shows together. We'll get into some of the practices and policies he has as a DA,
yeah.
and they're offensive to a lot of people, but apparently not them all because he's been reelected
Maybe
or
we can get
he
him on as
passed
a
a
guest.
recall. You know,
You think we can get George on as a guest?
Yeah, I don't think so. If he gets, if he knows I'm involved, forget it. He
Okay,
won't.
wait a minute. I'm just thinking here, outside the box, all right? The listeners probably don't know what George looks like. We could get a George impersonator. Well, let me work on this. All right.
I know a
We,
guy who has an English accent.
yeah,
I could probably get
that's,
on here
that's what I'm thinking.
to
We could do this,
impersonate George.
and we'll make sure that George never gets reelected to anything.
Oh, Chuck, that's the one thing about our shows is that we always have a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
when we get into your show, we're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff, and um, the more lighthearted we can go, the more fun it's going to be for us and probably our viewers and listeners. So I'm actually really excited about doing the show with you, Chuck, because I know what it's like to uh, serve as an officer, police officer, although mine was military. And you had the opportunity for 32 years to be an LA cop and detective. And Haas has been in jail. No, I don't.
Well, I was just gonna say I was military as well, and I was arrested at one time, and we can even talk about that at some point in time.
Well, been there,
Yeah.
done that.
What? Haas was arrested? Yes, Haas was arrested.
Yeah.
Well, it's all in fun, and
That'd
like
make
I
you a
said,
bad guy.
No, it was not in fun. No, I was really arrested, and when we got to the jailhouse, the young SP that had taken me away. First of all, he asked if I wanted to be cuffed or uncuffed, and I said, let's just go with the uncuff route. He goes, okay. He was pretty cool about the whole thing. And then we get to the jailhouse, and he says, you want to go inside the cell or stay outside? I said, I just didn't sit out with you guys. So I did. We sat out and drank coffee and told jokes and whatever. But anyway, we'll get into more depth. But it was a very serious charge, as you can probably tell.
yeah, it wasn't for murder or anything, right?
No, it's actually for shoplifting.
But Hoss, did he offer you a donut with that coffee?
Absolutely.
Good.
That's why I went with him with no cuffs. I didn't want to make him mad.
That's a good cop then.
Absolutely.
Even the military police had plenty of donuts around.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're good.
They
They're
took
good.
care of us, you know.
Well,
They
you
don't
know,
want the speeding tickets.
That's kind of
Yeah.
part of the uniform.
It is.
well, over the years, I've met a lot of cops on a social basis. I've got a lot of friends that are current cops, former cops. Quite honestly, they're definitely a different breed. It takes a special person, and I mean that in all sincerity, because not everybody can be a cop. Quite honestly, and I think you'll attest to this, Chuck, not all cops should be cops.
I totally agree.
But
Go ahead.
the vast majority do an amazing job. And, I actually tested for Scottsdale Police Department here in Arizona years ago, and I was accepted. And at the last minute, decided to do something else. And I've often wondered what would have happened? Where would I be had I followed that path?
Well,
Um,
Hoss, you would be collecting a pension the first of every month.
Dang.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, just rub it in. Thanks, brother.
Hit him with
Ah,
the hammer.
wow.
Hit him with the hammer, Chuck.
Yeah, no.
I couldn't resist, guys.
No, but I'm anxious for your show. Great stories that I know you've got. Probably some sensitive issues you still can't talk about, but Mike is an excellent interviewer. He'll trick you into telling them all the top secret stuff, and that will help our ratings to soar.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's all good,
Oh,
Right through the roof. Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I watch all the cop movies and cop shows, and
Yeah, you know how to
I
do
know
it.
how to do it. Yeah.
Guys. Guys. Besides working with LAPD in uniform for 32 years, a lot of cops in Los Angeles, Southern Cal, they take side jobs, and most of those side jobs are working for celebrities, and they pay real good. And these guys are they call them off-duty security jobs, and I during my 32-year career, I had the opportunity to work with quite a few celebrities, some real unique individuals that you're well aware of, and so I got some stories to tell you when it comes to that too. And you know what? I don't have to worry about confidentiality. It's been a long time. Some of them are gone and passed away, So I think it's probably it's wide open. So I'll be able to discuss and tell you some good stories, some funny stuff, and stuff you'll enjoy.
And
So you're
we've
saying that,
heard some of your stories,
yeah,
and
and
you're right.
but the thing that just hit me, you just said you worked for a lot of celebrities doing security work, and a lot of those people are now dead. Uh, Hopefully, we can dig into it and find
No,
out
no,
Were
if
it's
you
your
not
on
security
duty?
work
Is
had
what?
anything to do with
Yeah.
that.
House
I
wants to know if you were on duty at the time they
no.
expired.
Well, no, not a lot of them did. Some of them have
Oh,
passed
not a
away.
lot of them, just a few
Yeah,
of them.
just a few, yeah. But yeah, I worked with all kinds, and some were great and generous and nice and kind, and others were complete boneheads. So, and I was there just for the money, but it was nice to offset your income, and they paid real well. And, of course, we got to be with who's who. And one of them, I'll tell you, that is passed on that I got to work around and bodyguard was Hugh Hefner from Playboy.
Oh, wow.
And boy, I tell you, we had
Yeah,
some
my
real
heart.
wild times at the Playboy Mansion and getting to know all the playmates and traveling and going to various clubs and dinners with the man. And it was very interesting, very interesting.
Did Hugh ever have, like, uh, regular clothes, the suit and the tie, or did he always
Yeah,
wear a bathrobe?
no, he had the suit and tie,
Or
and
did he? Oh, okay.
but most of the time he was casual.
Yeah.
But around the house, it was about. He was always in pajamas. He was always in
Wow.
pajamas, silk pajamas.
Well, of
Oh,
course.
jeez.
He had a whole closet full of silk pajamas, all different colors. And
Oh my gosh.
he'd come down in the afternoon and he'd say, "Yes, Hef here. How you guys doing today?" And we talk with them, and then we're gonna go out tonight. And I remember one night we went out. He called me up on the phone from his bedroom, and he says, "I want you to make arrangements for a party of six. We're going to this particular club in Hollywood. It's no longer open." And I said, "Okay, Mr. Hefner, let me do that." So I called this nightclub and got the manager, and I said, "We need a table for six for Hugh Hefner." Guy said, "Sorry, I can't help you tonight. The Kennedys are here." Kennedy.
He was trumped. No,
So
no pun intended.
Whoa.
He was trumped by the
so
Kennedys.
So well, it gets better. It gets
Oh,
better because they said, yeah, the Kennedys, so we're not going to be able to accommodate Mr. Hefner. Hmm. So, okay, I hung up and I called Mr. Hefner up in his room and I said, "Mr. Hefner, we're not going to be able to go tonight because the club told me that they're expecting the Kennedy family." And he looked at me and says, "Let me explain to you something, young man. Every Kennedy that mattered and was worth their salt is all passed away. So you call you call that club back and let them know that I expect to be there and expect my table." And I did.
wow.
And I called this club back and I said, "Hey guys," I said, "it's me again." I said, "Mr. Hefner wanted me to tell you that any Kennedy that mattered, that was important, have all passed away. So whoever Kennedys they aren't much, and he expects his table." And we got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I
Yeah,
love that about that guy.
yeah,
You know,
Jeez.
oh yeah.
That's awesome.
It was a good. It was pretty good. Yeah. So
you've rubbed elbows with celebrities and even some politicians.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about that in one of our future shows
Sounds
because
good.
your stories, Chuck, that you tell us when we're out on our motorcycle rides, and boy, they're just either they're very entertaining to say the least.
Oh, we got to talk about something
Yeah.
at breakfast.
Well, exactly.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, and hopefully you can elaborate on the story that I've made up in my head about the time that you got a chance to go in and try on some of Hef's silk pajamas. But that's a later show that you can talk about.
I'll tell you what, he was a very small man. I wouldn't fit into one leg of his PJs, and I wouldn't want to either.
You,
Uh,
I won't say what I was thinking
uh,
anyway, because Mike had just cut it out anyway.
This is
So,
a family show.
yeah.
Let's remember that.
all right,
But
all right.
I'd like to eventually find out what it's like to get up in the morning, put on your uniform, kiss the wife goodbye, and go off to work, not knowing what your day is going to be like. A
Yeah,
lot of people have the perception that cops are just nasty all the time. Well, when you stop and think about what they have to deal with from the time they leave their front door until they get home. It's all about nasty. It's about crooks. It's criminals, burglaries, not just nasty people.
Yeah.
So how can I like to give the cops, the police, a pat on the back for having to do that
Yeah, it's a tough job.
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a job that you really have to put on your game face. When you walk out that door, it's on and it stays on until you get home. And I think the real trick is, can you take it off once you come back home? And
Yeah.
that's got to be a tough one.
Yes, it is. You know, guys, you get up in the morning, like you said, Mike, and yeah, you don't put your uniform on at home, but it's in the locker
Right.
at the station. But once you get to work, you first thing you do is get suited up, get a cup of coffee, go to roll call. Roll call is usually the latest information that you should be aware of in the city or the division
Right.
you're working. And then every day is unique. No day is the same. Yeah, you're going to do things that are similar, but they're different people every day, different things happening. Some days it's right out of the box, right out of the station. You're go go go, and you don't stop till 12 hours later until you finish the investigation. Other times it's slow as all bejesus, and you're out there, waiting for a radio call. So when that happens, what we do is we become very proactive. And we start looking for things on the street. We're looking for guys walking, maybe heroin addicts on the nod, or whatever. You start looking for things and manufacturing things and because it's slow. You're not getting a lot of radio calls, but
Your job is to protect and serve.
yeah, that's right. And just
Yeah.
being visible in the neighborhoods is a deterrent. And you get to know the people in your area that you're working.
Yeah.
There's the shop owners, the store, the people own the stores, and you get to know the people, some of the leaders in the community. And you'll go to meetings at the junior high or high school. You'll meet for student body meetings. You'll get up and do a presentation. Of course, you're gonna in between that, you're gonna be handling radio calls. You're gonna go to little grade schools and meet with kids and do what they call an officer bill program and meet with little kids and talk to them and get them used to being around uniformed police officers and showing them that all cops aren't bad people, and it's building a relationship with the community. That's the main thing. And the better you build the relationship, the more crime you're going to solve. You're going to have people that are going to trust you, and people that when they see things, they're not going to be afraid to talk to you and tell you what's going on in the area. So it's very rewarding. It's really rewarding when the crime occurs and you're able to capture the suspect. I remember years ago, many years ago, I was working patrol and there was a rape of a young lady in East Los Angeles, and I remember responding to the call and handling the preliminary investigation, taking her to the hospital, getting the swab test, taking the report, doing everything, and then following up on the leads on the suspect. And 12 hours later, we had the suspect in custody and we were booking him in county jail for rape. And so and
That's awesome.
I remember the mom and dad having me come over to the house and they were crying. They had tears in their eyes. They were so happy that I caught the maggot that had raped their daughter. So you get moments like that that really make you feel good and really,
Yeah.
and I had a good time. I worked hard. A couple times I was officer of the quarter. So, and I was rewarded with special assignments, and I
Yeah.
really, it was really rewarding. And then on the other side, there were days when it wasn't so good. Very stressful from not only the outside, the community, stressful inside, because people don't realize that most of cops' stress doesn't really come from the outside, doesn't come from the bad guys on the street or the people you arrest, and it comes from inside. Other
Yeah.
cops backbiting, backstabbing. There's a lot of politics people aren't aware of behind closed doors in law enforcement.
Yep.
Well,
I can't wait to get into this, Chuck. We're going to wrap it up for right now, but I gotta tell you, again, I'm truly excited to partner with you on this and to have you on K Heat Radio, uh, because we're going to get a perspective um, from you based on your history as a police officer that you just can't buy, and you're not going to find it on regular TV. in the truth. You're going
Right.
to find it exaggerated. You're going to find it fake news. You're going to find it many other ways. But to actually get someone who's going to tell it like it is, you're going to be blunt and to the point. Knowing you, Chuck, it couldn't be any other way. It's awesome.
That's what it's all about. And
Yeah.
I will tell you stuff that'll make your hair go. You'll grow more hair.
Oh, well, Haas could use it. I got.
Well, I was going to say, once this
obviously,
guy
I
takes
have
off,
many.
I was going to say, Hoss, you're looking very groomed today.
yeah, and
All
you,
trimmed up and
well, I knew you were coming on board,
oh,
so
thank you. I
yeah.
trimmed my beard for you guys.
And he's wearing pants today too, Chuck. So
no,
I'm really proud.
no. Here,
Let's wrap this
let me
show
stand
up.
up and oh wait,
Hey, Chuck, look, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up today. We're going to get together real soon, and we're going to have our first show, blunt and to the point, and I'm totally looking forward to it.
absolutely, me too.
All right, guys, I appreciate it, and I look forward to it.
Okay.
All right, well, Mike, another good one.
Haas, I totally agree.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun show. It really
Yes,
is.
it is.
Chuck's a crazy guy. And
Very.
that's
We
why he's
love him.
doing it. Yep, absolutely.
And he's a biker.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I mean,
can't hold that against anybody.
Hey,
and we're
that's the
bikers.
best.
Hey.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, let's do it again. And
All right, guys.
hope everybody comes back for the premiere of Blunt and to the Point. That's going to be coming up here in just the next few days.
All right, guys.
Watch the website and you'll find out when.
Absolutely.
Look forward to it.
Thanks, Chuck.
All
We
right, guys.
appreciate it, buddy. Haas, we'll see you.
See you next time.
All right, guys.
Adios.